I wanted to make a little video about my work on the Invader 2000 series transmitters. I got a couple of them here ready to be put in line for being cleaned up. I recently obtained the actual external outboard power supply for our 2000. It's got an enormous transformer, choke, filament supply, bleeders, all manner of things that fits inside this cabinet. I didn't have that when I started, so I ended up building my own, which is housed in this big cabinet that the power transformer came in. This is the low voltage supply for the 2000. It's really the Invader 200 power supply, which is meant to be removed and the power amplifiers put on chassis. This would make a Invader 200 as a unit. You take this off, you put it external to that other supply, and then you have the ability to run a 2000. I have a soft start resistor in here, control circuitry, bleeders, meters, 150 microfarad storage capacitor bank. Down in here I have a dump resistor. When I turn off the power, it sucks the high voltage down with a 100K resistor. The power supply took 30 to 40 seconds to discharge. Way long, too long. This is a big variac in here, which feeds the main power transformer and the choke, which is hidden underneath my bias supply. This is what the front of it looks like. This, of course, is the switch that enables the 240 volts. And when I turn on the Invader, I energize the low voltage power supply, which is stage number 1. If I turn on the power amplifier filaments, they'll come on. And then if I take the rig and turn it on into the manual mode, it will then energize itself. And then we're ready to get going here. And if I turn up the high voltage power supply by turning on the transmit position, I can crank up the voltage here, and the power supply, as you turn it up, will build up in voltage here to whatever you want. This thing's good for 4 kV, but I'm not going to run it there. I'm going to run it down at 3 kV. You can see it takes a real long time for the meter to fall back. Real long time to fall back. So that's unacceptable. But I got a bunch of lights on here. I got fuses for the low voltage controls, fuses for the high voltage 240 volts coming in, and of course the big wheel variac, which looks kind of cool. Dr. No James Bond kind of thing. So that's what happens. But I'm particularly happy with the fact that the dump relay, which is tied to this switch, when I turn off the relay, its normally closed position drops 8,000 ohms across this capacitor bank and discharges it. For safety, one of the things I do all the time is I put a neon in the system here so that I can control the operation of the supply and be reminded that this thing is HOT hot. Those are the Siamese in the background making noise. But this is what we have right here. And if I turn it off, you can see the supply. It's got this cute little Russian neon bulb. It's a really cute bulb because the glowing region moves with voltage. And this right now is about 2800 volts on here. Meter's been calibrated, and if I turn the variac up, we'll get this up to about 3000 volts. Then I'll turn the thing off with my switch here, and you can watch that the power supply has a safe and sane discharge rate. So this is my power supply, and there goes the dumping, which I like. This is the Invader 2000. This section here is the RF amplifier deck, which used to be a low voltage power supply. And the idea with Johnson was you can buy the 200 or you can get the 2000. The 200 has the power supply in here. The 2000 has the RF deck in here with the two 4400 sockets. It's quite a lot of stuff. I mean, quite a lot of stuff. It's a pair of 6146s in here that run the exciter, or the driver, if you will. And then down near the bottom here, if I can flip the camera around, you can see the power amplifier section with the two 4400 sockets. and the capacitors and the roller inductor and all that other sort of stuff, along with the dial. I got a software program online to do mechanical drawing, and I recreated the dial for this thing because the dial on this was completely trashed out. I'll show you what it looks like on an old Invader 200. This one here has seen better days, but you can see how the 8-sided dial works, and it's just really tired. So that's the Invader 200 2000 combination, and I'm in the process of getting them to go. As if I didn't have enough things, I've got another Invader 200 here, another 200 Invader there. It's sort of like potato chips and kittens. You just can't have enough. Have a good day. N4MQ 73.